First, let's set context. How many of you want to lay out? Raise your hands. How many of you? Can I get? I know why people don't lay out, but can I get a few examples on why you don't lay out?
Vijay will know that he's an expert. Not
Getting
laying
injured.
What else?
I don't even have the intention of it. I don't want to.
Once me and Pixie were talking, it's that some of us, like our generation, we played in cement roads, better block to just dive to the hard surface.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So what we'll do today is not figuring out layout, but how do you fall in life in general. Let's say you trip, you're walking. What are the ways to fall and not get injured, right? Like the multiple ways you can fall. You're cycling, you're running backwards. How do you make sure you don't get hurt? The plan is to get towards layout, but that is a far distance away, right? First thing I want to do is spread out. I want you to start falling as well, right? All of you will be falling, so make space for yourself.
I'm just gonna fall on your body.
You can take a couple of them.
Yeah, if you guys can spread out, come here closer, etc. Perfect. Okay, what we'll start with is falling on your backs. Okay, so when you actually fall on your back, the three things to keep in mind: never let your head hit the ground, and don't let your don't put your shoulders, your elbows down. Right? Always try and fall on your back and get your head up. So let me show you a demo. Right? You're standing. You always go, right? So there are two things I did. One is get my forearms to the ground. The reason I do this is you can spread the impact, right? So that's what you do. So I'm always putting my head up and hitting the hand to the ground, right? So that's the first thing. So all of us could start on the ground and do 5 reps of hitting on the, get your hand conditioned to hitting the ground. Yeah. Perfect.
It's not sit down and fall.
Yeah, hit the ground with your forearm.
And you want to keep your head up, right?
Yeah, put your head up and hit the ground. So all you're doing is this. Get your forearm conditioned to hitting the ground. Get a rep of 5. Yeah. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to hit the forearm to the ground while keeping your head up. Right? Hit the back and your forearm to the side. Perfect. For people who have done it, start rolling back. So go on your toes, then fall back. Start. Yeah, so you got to it's harder, but you got to let your back hit and spread the force impact to the ground. Right? Anyone's finding it hard, not feeling comfortable?
Yeah.
See, this feels better than the stand.
Yeah. Yeah, TJ.
I'll make sure I don't record it.
Yeah. Sure. Okay. For people who want to, so what we did now was from your toes, right? We slowly go back to squats.
Pranav. Yeah.
We start from low squat, as much as you're comfortable, right? Then go back. We're doing the same thing. You're hitting your forearm to the ground. Perfect. So you still, whatever height you're comfortable with, right? You want to go squat lower to fall? It's okay. You can start lower. Go back. Make sure you don't hit your head. That's really important. And don't put your elbows down.
That's what you have to practice.
Yeah. So if you're standing, let's say if you have to fall from when you're standing, you go down, then fall.
Bump.
Perfect. So hit the ground so that you spread the impact.
Careful, Harsha. You played in game.
And open your palms. Hit the entire palm to the ground. Perfect. Right. Good. CJ, hit the palm. Hit the ground. Hit it. Hit the ground. Okay. That's first side of things, right? Now let's look at falling to the side and forward.
Okay.
Forward is a lot more scarier, but we'll start with side, right? Whatever you're doing, same thing. You're gonna go sideways. We put your head up. It's the same. You're hitting the entire palm, forearm, and the palm to the ground.
Pranav, stay within these two things. Yeah.
Perfect. You're going side. 5 this side, and 5 the other side.
Can you show again?
Yeah. If you're like this, squat. Go. Go 5 on each side, and then we'll try and do forward.
Hitting again, right?
Yeah, you still hit it. You spread the impact. So you start low if you're feeling scared of starting from the high. Go low, then fall down.
That lost it.
How much time do you have?
We have no one.
You got to learn to like what you're trying to do here is break that mental barrier. We're not trying to lay out. We're not trying to do anything else. We're just trying to get our body used to falling and understand that nothing's going to happen. You're not going to get injured. You're going to fall so that you don't get injured. So you start low, however you're comfortable with. Start with whatever makes you slightly more comfortable to falling down.
Pranav, can you show it again?
Yeah. So you want to sideways?
Yeah.
Like go low as much as possible, and then go sideways. Hit your palm, forearm, everything to the ground. So you spread impact. Perfect. Nice one, Anna. Continue.
Try landing on your.
Just why did he come away? Oh, up here.
Try landing on your.
He wanted to see you there, then how you did. Only when the handler throws it back.
Okay. So let's perfect.
There is space there.
Alright, so what we'll do next is falling face forward. It's a lot more scarier, harder. But what we are trying to do is, let me show you a demo. We'll use the entire palm, forearm to hit. Never land on your elbow or the side of your bone. You go flat, right? So what we are doing is... So, hold on. I'm not asking you to do this. Let's start with, exactly. We start with a knee. You first thing, put your hand up, cover your face. And when you fall, move it, keep your head to the side so you don't hit on your nose. Go down, get the entire hand down. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm keeping that.
Yeah, perfect.
Momentum is taking me forward.
So we will eventually get out of that, but you need to start taking some impact.
No, it's not happening.
Go low.
Can do
body
it,
is refuses to
Madhu.
go
Go, Madhu. You got this. Call.
Yeah, your entire forearm and palm together.
And check a little bit.
No, not right now. Just not right now.
Just think like
You
you
wanna-
are falling on a sand.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Can you slap the ground? Can you do it? Yeah, I think it's still okay. We're not getting your head to the ground yet. You're not hitting your face palming. You should probably. I'll probably work with this. So once you're slightly comfortable, we do the same thing from our toes up. We go up.
You go a bit forward.
Yeah, a bit forward. That we would land.
Falling on like three steps.
on your forearms. So if you don't want to land, start squat
Yeah,
and then go.
I have like from falling down.
So
No.
start squat. Make sure you hit the entire palm, forearm, everything to the ground.
I think I naturally slide. I can slide by practice. That's how I lay out. Yeah. But hitting it straight is mental barrier. Yeah.
Okay. What happens next? I'll probably talk about what is the next transition, right? There's momentum. What else do you do? Right? Guys. So, like, you can't just fall all of it. Like, when you're running, absolutely can't go fall face first, right? So, what you do is you try and roll. You try and roll on your back, shoulders, etc. Right? So, there are 3 different rolls: back roll, forward roll, and side roll. What you see in the cricket match, when a ball is thrown, right? When a ball is coming to you, you see a lot of people rolling on the shoulder, right? So when a ball is coming, you go sideways, right? So that's what people do, so that you spread impact and still have the ball in the match, right? So what we'll try and now do is like figuring out forward rolls, right? You start low, and the way you roll is you go shoulder over shoulder, right? So whatever you're comfortable, if you're comfortable with left shoulder, right shoulder, whatever, right? You go shoulder first, get your arm inside. You go down, get back up.
Nice one,
Perfect.
Raju. Wait, so how do you start?
So,
Do that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Nice
perfect.
one.
I can do this too, like now.
So, like, don't do somersault. Like, we're not trying to somersault, but trying to go on a shoulder. Take it one shoulder from the other side. Right? Let me do it again. Right, you're going.
Don't follow me.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, if there is a lot of momentum, here's how I would roll. You're landing, you're getting your elbow first, but you have to get your shoulder first.
Oh, the shoulder should touch first.
Shoulder should get first. So, you like don't get anything else. So you put your hand inside. Yeah.
It's direct on the shoulder.
Yeah. You can go slow. Like you can start with your knee back down. Start with your knee down if you're comfortable. Right. Get your hand down. Yeah. So a couple of things that I notice is people are rolling to on the side. Although that is the next step, but what you want to do is get your shoulder used to the impact of the ground.
Pranav, can you show it again?
Yeah.
So it's right leg up, right hand, shoulder.
Yeah.
underneath, Yeah.
Whichever shoulder you want to roll on. If you want to go left,
Oh, you can actually go like this?
yeah. If you're comfortable with your left
Yeah,
hand,
then you would change
Yeah.
leg, right?
you want to spread the impact by the roll over your back and nowhere else.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Right. Same thing with side. So there's, like, say you're moving out, and if there's a ball or whatever, the disc is moving, you go sideways. Right? Like you want your shoulder to hit or your back to hit the ground first. Right? So that's the idea. Yeah, and the last bit is the back roll. What you want to do with back roll is you start with the front roll and you get back up. Same on your shoulder.
With the shoulder.
Pranav, can you show the side one?
Yeah.
Wait, have you done gymnastics or something?
I used to do parkour and
Now makes sense.
Little. Yeah, do the side.
so the side, you as much as possible go low and then roll, right? You're going here.
Guys, silent.
Perfect.
Okay, now the front
And back. Yeah. So the idea is to use the same momentum when you go forward to get it back. You're going up. So what I'm doing is I'm also tucking my head. You don't want to land on your neck. That's super dangerous. So don't land on your neck. So that's why you use shoulder, back, all of that. And when you're here, you go back similar way. I'm not. So what I'm doing is I'm getting my head out of the way, getting my shoulder in.
And it looks like you use a lot of leg power to get over as well.
Yeah. So here I did use, but when there's momentum, I can go back up easily.
Yeah. Okay, everyone give it a shot rather than watching other people laughing. Like, why don't you try it also?
I been neck. So what you did is you bend your neck. You're going, but generally you don't want your neck to get hurt.
I'm going to try this at neck on my back.
You know, you did.
So, how much time you have?
Time, I shoot. How much time does he have, bud?
Yeah. So basically the next step is probably later, but it's about how do you actually get to the disc, making that crushed fall, getting on your shoulder and your forearm so you don't hit. But that's later. But the first thing is breaking that mental barrier of your body hitting the ground multiple over and over again. So that's the gist of this pivot session. So basically, whenever you fall, whenever you're getting back down, right? Let's say there's a stretching, you just go fall back, and that's probably a first way for you to like get used to your body hitting the ground, and then you can eventually start figuring out how do you actually start laying out in a match. So yes, that's all. This thing was. Thank you for listening.
What Pranav is saying, and it's true, right? I think on this team, the only person that lays out without really thinking about it and does it very, very well is Pranav. However, if you want to get to the top level, you've seen it. There's a lot of players on the team who either refuse to lay out, or their mental block is like they don't want to lay out. They convince themselves they're not going to lay out. They don't have to lay out. It's all these cognitive dissonances coming into play, right? You're telling yourself you don't need to lay out. I could probably still get it. In actual fact, a lot of the top level players in this team could be performing at a much higher level, could make it into national team if they just laid out. If they did that one thing, they'd probably get into the national team. That is how important I think it is that Airbenders need to start getting used to laying out. Doc also kind of does it a bit naturally. I'm trying to think of other people, but there are people who do it. The person who does it the most and consistently is Pranav, right? And you can see today there is a mental block. There is a kind of refusal to do it, right? And the plan that he's put in place is excellent because it really breaks it down, like what is our mental barrier, why, and how can we just get used to it. It's just, if you look at it as a concept of going to ground, this is what I describe as ultimate players. I know that Pranav goes to ground. I know that Doc goes to ground. And that is exactly what it is. They're just the willingness and the lack of fear of going to ground. That's all it is. And so I think if you want to think of yourself as a top level player, you've got to start laying out. You've got to go for that disc on offense and on defense, as a handler and as a cutter, as a finisher and as a dump handler. All positions need to lay out at some point. You will have to do that for sure. So I just want to reaffirm this point. But thanks again. I thought it was a great session.